Hello everybody. My first spiral video got about 3 times as many likes per view as my second most popular video. That's why I thought spirals seem to interest people or you, and this is why I decided to make another one. I have prepared a couple of things here just to get started. So this is a telephone cord, which of course is nothing else than a spiral. Here is another telephone cord, which is completely useless, but it's a spiral anyway. Then I have something I called a spiral basket, which looks pretty nice. I would not want to do this in real life with real material. Then I have something here, it's called a spiral lamp, and if I activate the second mesh, you see it is double. Here I have a double torus, which is again a very pretty shape. Looks a bit like the Chinese Olympic Stadium in Beijing. Then I have a fantasy spiral, which just looks pretty. I love spirals, I must say. I could play with them for hours. I have something which is a spiral fountain. And here is a ball shaped with spirals and some jewelry, also in the shape of a ball. You see, we can do really a million things with spirals. So let me start. The first thing I do is I take a sphere, go out of sub-D mode, then go to polygon triple. And you see now it has made all triangles, and ideally it would continue making triangles around here, but Modo for some reason decides to make it the other way around. Doesn't really matter. What we can do now is, first of all, we could extend this, and for that I would just like to show you the edge spin command, which allows, if you want to continue an edge with the V shortcut to spin edges, just in case to make one. I make it back again. Like so. And then I select this edge here and this one, deselect these, Control copy, go to an empty mesh here, Control V, we don't need to see this one, and I can now delete these here. It doesn't really matter if it is a complete spiral or if it is something like this. You will see we can make pretty shapes with either of them. So next I go to polygon mode. This is important, otherwise it doesn't work. Then I press Shift X for polygon extrude, click in the viewport, don't worry when everything disappears, and bring out something like this. Now it is important that we run polygon unify or run the mesh cleanup command, which I will do in the future. Next, we must check if there are inverted polygons. So deselect everything. No. Oh, sorry, I did something wrong. Let's do it again. I didn't hit the OK key. Now here we have some flipped polygons. This is normal, and now I have something like this. Then I go to polygon thicken, and on the blue handle I bring this out also. Now I make it plus 20 millimeters, like this. Now, if you need a roundish shape, then you're done already. I prefer to make it a bit more square. So I go to Edge Mode, select these edges, Alt C, with a count of 2, and Symmetry, and now have something like this. Okay, next I go to Duplicate, Radial Array, Action Center, 24, no, this must be 360, 24, Action Center, Origin, and click, and you see we have already something which looks quite pretty. And if we want to make it look fancier, then we can use one of these handles here. Now look what happens. You see, there are countless possibilities we can use to do something like this. The other thing is, if we put the end angle, for example, to 180 degrees, then you see we get something which looks very pretty as well. And again, in combination with this here, we can make fantastic looking harmonic shapes. So undo this, and there is one other thing. I go to this view here. If you would like to duplicate this form, there are several ways to do it. We can copy and paste it in place here, and then duplicate mirror. But I would like to show you another possibility. I can Control copy this, go to another empty mesh, Control V, and then press the R key, make sure that negative scale is ticked, and then I just scale it round to minus 100% on the X, and flip the polygons because these are flipped also. If I activate the second mesh now, you see we have this double shaped form, which looks quite attractive as well. Good. Let me delete this and go to something else. We don't need this one. Back to the basic forms. Now if we look at the cylinder, you see we can also do exactly the same as with the sphere. We can triple it, and this time it makes nice cuts, diagonal cuts. We can, for example, convert this to polygons and could use it as the base for some shape. But actually the cylinder, as well as the cone. There is nothing you couldn't do in the radial sweep that you could do with these two types of geometry. So I much rather go quickly to the radial sweep and show you how to make a telephone cord. It's in the Y, yeah, that's good. I go to the side view, go and take a cylinder with 8 edges, 8 and 1 segment, and 75 by 5 millimeters. A key. No, put everything in the middle. Now the A key. And now I go to duplicate radial sweep. This will be a very short. It's the same settings as I had when I did my first spiral video. So let's keep this. Then it will be a short one, but you will get the idea. And then cap start. Then yes, click in here and we have our telephone cord, which of course is nothing else than a spiral. This was just a short refresher about the radial sweep. I delete it and then I go to the mother of all spirals, namely the torus. Hit the A key, go out of subdivision mode, perspective, and use the same triple function and top view. We could use any of these spirals now, but I prefer to have one which is either horizontal or vertical. That's a bit easier to see then. So I select this one, good, Control copy, then go to an empty mesh, Control V, then make a new one, yes. And then I must have pressed the Shift key when I created the cylinder. Anyway, go to polygon mode again, Shift X, and on the blue one bring this out a bit like so. Drop the tool, mesh cleanup, OK. And now we must again check for flipped polygons. OK, like this. I redid this part because it was too thick. It was almost 50 millimeters and that looks ugly. So I made it smaller. This is only 20 millimeters. Okay, now we can go to the thicken tool and click in the viewport and make it with an offset of plus 20 millimeters as well as we did the last time. Again, if you would like to have a round shape, then this is it. I prefer to have a more edgy shape. So select these, Alt C, and count of 2, yes, okay. Now here is our spiral. It is an endless spiral, which has some implications if we radial array it. So count of 24, that's good. Go to Action Center Origin and make this 180 degrees. The point is, this is a closed shape. If we look from top, if we would radial array this by 360 degrees, then everything would be double. If I radial array it by 180 degrees, then one of these will be double, because for 24 edges the real value, the real end angle would be 172.5. But I always do it 180, and what I do before, usually it is already selected, I make sure I'm in polygon mode and my starting spiral is selected. Then I go to edge or vertex mode, and the polygon selection will be kept. Now I can go to Action Center Origin, again, duplicate, radial array 180 degrees, Action Center Origin, and click in the viewport. Now here is our spiral, torus, and I could just go now to polygon mode and delete the one which is a duplicate. But let me stay. No, let's do that. I take one of these spirals, control copy, go to another empty mesh, control V, go to any view, hit the E key, and rotate this by 45 degrees. W, move it a bit out of the center. Then we can again go to duplicate, radial array, Action Center Origin, click in the viewport, and now you see we get some fancy shapes. We don't need to have, why did this go to 12? This can be any number, 48 for example, and we don't need to be on 360 degrees, we can be on 180, and look what happens. This is really fantastic. I mean, this is really looking so pretty, and we can make all kinds of surreal shapes and forms. You see, or you will agree, that there are millions of combinations possible, and you will not be so easily able to recreate something you did as this one. I personally like this one quite much now, but let's stop with this. You can play around with this yourself, and let's go to a last thing which has got nothing to do with spirals, but let me delete this one, and I go to the delete this one as well, go to an empty mesh, and then I bring in a square, select an edge, Alt C, and make this a count of 9, so we get 10 segments, uniform, and Alt C again, and here again. Now we have a cube which is divided into 10 segments on each side. What I do first is I select all these edges, go to select, and assign a selection set and give it a name, call it X. Then I deselect everything, go to the polygon, triple, and now we have tripled. Is this good? Yeah, this is probably good. Okay. Then I can go to select, use selection set, then invert the selection, and now we have only our diagonal lines in here. I can use the B key to bevel this a bit like so. Drop the tool, go to polygon mode and delete these. Now we have a cube which has interesting things. These are not spirals, but depending on which one you choose, you can make very interesting shapes as well, or you could even use one of these and combine it with a spiral shape to make some jewelry or whatsoever. So this was it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and have fun modeling with Modo. See you some other time. Bye bye.